The world adored Princess Diana. She was the people's princess, a beacon of compassion, grace, and humanity in a monarchy often seen as cold and distant. But behind the dazzling smile and the glamorous public appearances lay a life of unimaginable pain, betrayal, and heartbreak. Now, decades after her tragic death, a series of private letters written by Diana herself have come to light, letters that reveal the shocking truth about her marriage to King Charles, the manipulative role of Camilla Parker Bowles, and the royal family's complicity in her suffering. These letters are not just personal musings, they are a damning indictment of the British monarchy. They expose a web of emotional manipulation, infidelity, and systemic neglect that Diana endured in silence. This is the story the royal family never wanted you to hear. This is the truth they tried to bury. And now, it can no longer be hidden. Princess Diana's letters reveal a chilling portrait of Camilla Parker Bowles as a master manipulator. Far from being a mere mistress, Camilla wielded an alarming level of influence over King Charles, using emotional tactics to keep him ensnared. Diana wrote of how Camilla played on Charles's insecurities, making him feel indebted to her and driving a wedge between him and his wife. Camilla's manipulation wasn't just about stealing Charles's affection, it was about dismantling Diana's position as his wife. Diana described feeling like a spectator in her own marriage, watching helplessly as Camilla tightened her grip on Charles. The emotional toll was devastating, leaving Diana isolated and powerless in a union that was supposed to be her greatest support. In one particularly poignant letter, Diana recounted how Camilla would orchestrate situations to make Charles feel guilty if he tried to distance himself from her. She would remind him of their shared history, their deep emotional connection, and the sacrifices she had made for him. This emotional blackmail kept Charles tethered to Camilla, even as his marriage to Diana crumbled. Diana's letters also reveal how Camilla's influence extended beyond Charles. She seemed to have an uncanny ability to navigate the royal family's inner circles, gaining favor with key figures while Diana struggled to find her place. This added another layer of torment for Diana, who felt increasingly alienated not just from her husband but from the entire royal institution. One of the most heartbreaking revelations in Diana's letters is the emotional abuse she endured at the hands of King Charles. While the world saw a charming prince, Diana saw a man who was cold, dismissive, and utterly indifferent to her pain. She wrote of how Charles showed no empathy for her struggles with depression, often brushing off her cries for help as if they were insignificant. Diana described feeling like a ghost in her own marriage, a woman who was seen as an obligation rather than a partner. The emotional neglect was compounded by the pressure to maintain a perfect public image, leaving Diana to suffer in silence. Her letters reveal a woman who was slowly breaking under the weight of her husband's indifference, a woman who longed for love and support but found only emptiness. In one letter, Diana recounted a particularly painful incident. She had been struggling with severe depression and had reached out to Charles for support. Instead of offering comfort, he coldly told her to pull herself together and reminded her of her duties as a princess. This lack of compassion left Diana feeling utterly alone, trapped in a marriage that offered no solace. Diana's letters also shed light on Charles's inability to prioritize her over Camilla. She wrote of how Charles would cancel family plans or royal engagements to spend time with Camilla, leaving Diana to explain his absence to their children. This blatant favoritism created a growing distance between the couple, with Diana feeling increasingly marginalized in her own life. Perhaps one of the most shocking revelations in Diana's letters is her belief that Queen Elizabeth was aware of Charles's affair with Camilla but chose to turn a blind eye. Diana wrote of feeling abandoned by the Queen, who she believed should have intervened to protect her. Instead, the Queen seemed more concerned with preserving the monarchy's image than addressing the pain her daughter-in-law was enduring. Diana's letters suggest that the royal family's priority was always the institution, not the individuals within it. This sense of betrayal by the Queen, a woman Diana had hoped would be a source of support, only deepened her isolation and despair. In one letter, Diana expressed her frustration at the Queen's refusal to acknowledge the affair, writing, "She knows, but she does nothing. It's as if my pain doesn't matter." The Queen's apparent tolerance of Camilla's presence in Charles's life added another layer of torment for Diana. She couldn't understand how the Queen, who was supposed to uphold the values and integrity of the monarchy, could seemingly condone Charles's infidelity and Camilla's role in it. This perceived favoritism further alienated Diana from the royal family, making her feel as though she was fighting a losing battle against an institution that had already chosen sides. Diana's letters also reveal the sheer callousness of Camilla's actions. Despite knowing the pain she was causing, Camilla showed no remorse for her role in the breakdown of Diana's marriage. Diana wrote of how Camilla would flaunt her relationship with Charles, attending royal events and acting as though Diana didn't exist. This blatant disregard for Diana's feelings only added to her sense of humiliation and isolation. In one particularly painful letter, Diana described an encounter with Camilla at a royal event. Camilla had approached her with a smug smile, making a pointed comment about Charles's affection for her. Diana wrote, "It was as if she enjoyed seeing me suffer. She knew she had one, and she wanted me to know it too." This callousness extended beyond public events. Diana's letters reveal how Camilla would often send subtle reminders of her presence, whether through gifts to Charles or notes that Diana would accidentally come across. These small but deliberate acts were designed to reinforce Camilla's dominance in Charles's life, leaving Diana feeling powerless and humiliated. As a mother, Diana was deeply concerned about the impact her crumbling marriage would have on her sons, William and Harry. Her letters reveal her fear that the emotional turmoil between her and Charles would leave lasting scars on the boys. She wrote of her determination to shield them from the worst of the tension, but she also acknowledged that they couldn't be completely protected from the fallout. Diana's love for her children shines through in her letters, but so does her anguish at the thought of them growing up in a broken home. She wanted to give them stability and happiness, but the toxic dynamics of her marriage made that an impossible task. In one letter, she wrote, "I look at William and Harry, and I see their innocence. I don't want them to carry the weight of this pain. But how can I protect them when I can't even protect myself?" Diana's letters also reveal her efforts to provide her sons with a sense of normalcy amidst the chaos. She would take them on outings, away from the prying eyes of the media and the stifling atmosphere of the palace. These moments of escape were precious to Diana, but they were also bittersweet, as she knew they couldn't shield her children from the reality of their parents' failing marriage. Diana's letters offer a damning indictment of the royal family's treatment of her. She described feeling like an outsider, a woman who was never truly accepted by her in-laws. Despite her efforts to fulfill her duties as a princess, Diana often felt that the royal family saw her as a problem to be managed rather than a person to be supported. Her letters reveal a woman who was trapped in a gilded cage, surrounded by people who valued the monarchy's image more than her well-being. The lack of empathy and understanding from the royal family only added to Diana's sense of isolation, leaving her to navigate her pain alone. In one letter, she wrote, "They don't see me as a person. To them, I'm just a pawn in their game. And when I no longer serve their purpose, they'll discard me." This systemic indifference extended to Diana's mental health struggles. Despite her battles with depression and bulimia, the royal family offered little support, instead expecting her to maintain a flawless public image. Diana's letters reveal the toll this took on her, both emotionally and physically, as she struggled to meet the impossible standards set by the monarchy. Princess Diana's private letters are a testament to her strength and resilience in the face of unimaginable adversity. They reveal the truth about her marriage to King Charles, a truth that the royal family has tried to bury for decades. These letters are not just a window into Diana's pain, they are a damning indictment of the monarchy's failure to protect one of its own. As the world reads these shocking revelations, one thing becomes clear: the story of Princess Diana is far from over. Her letters are a call to action, a demand for accountability, and a reminder that the truth will always find a way to the surface. The revelations in Princess Diana's letters are just the beginning. There is so much more to uncover about the secrets of the royal family, the manipulation behind the scenes, and the truth about Diana's tragic life. If you want to stay informed about the latest developments in this unfolding scandal, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't miss a single update, because the truth is too important to ignore.